Great. We'd like to welcome Viktor Hovland to the Media Center for the 2022 ZOZO Championship. Viktor, this is your third appearance in the event, but only second back to Accordia after debuting in 2019. Can you give some of your thoughts on recording to Accordia Golf here in Japan?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of golf in Japan. I think the courses are really good. I particularly enjoy tree-line golf courses, and it's very similar to the course we played for the Olympics. And yeah, it's in perfect shape, very demanding, and the greens are perfect. So I'm looking forward to the week.
This is your first start of the 2022-23 PGA Tour season, coming off of a third consecutive FedEx Cup playoffs run this past summer. Can you share some of your thoughts on your game going into the season, perhaps some of your goals and expectations of yourself?
Yeah, I played some good golf last year. However, it was a little bit more inconsistent than I would have liked. Making some great improvements, and I feel like I'm feeling really good for this week and kind of this year as a whole. Yeah, it's a crazy game. You don't really know what you're going to get, but I feel like I'm very prepared to play my best golf.
And historically, you play pretty well in international events. You've had some great success, especially in Mexico. What would it do for your confidence to win at the ZOZO Championship this week for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I feel like as I mentioned earlier, I feel like I've put in some good work, and I feel like my game is in a good spot. So to get a win here this week, to validate that and just keep pushing on, I think that would be great. However, I can still play great golf and might not win, and that's how it goes. But as long as I kind of do what I can control and keep pushing, keep getting better, that's all I care about.
The fans here in Japan are some of the best, undeniably. We've seen you interacting with some of them over the last day or two. Can you just talk about the energy and excitement playing for those fans? And obviously you were here in 2019 when Tiger won, so you may have some good memories to recall on and just excitement to play in front of those fans.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Obviously when Tiger played here in 19, and I remember getting here, it was Monday morning, probably 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was raining, and you walk outside and there's 15,000 people there watching in a practice round. And it was absolutely ridiculous, but yeah, it's just really cool to go to places where people are there to watch golf. They're enthusiastic about watching golf, and they appreciate good golf shots, and yeah, it makes you want to play a little bit better, but it can almost go a little too far when I just remember it was funny playing in the tournament, and usually when you walk up to every tee box, they give you kind of a standing ovation, and obviously feels good, but it's not as good when you triple bogey the hole before. It's a little different, but no, as a whole, it's the experience is great, and avoid the triple bogeys. It's going to be fun.
Fantastic. Well, before we open it up to questions, one last question just about the culture of Japan. You've been into the city before. You've been here. What are some of your favorite foods, favorite parts of the Japanese culture?
Yeah, I've been to Japan. This is my 6th time in Japan, but I've only been to 3 places. So I've been to Tokyo, my 3rd time here, and then I've been to Nagoya 3 times for a junior event that I played 3 times in a row. That was a bit more kind of, not remote, it was a bit further away from the city, and obviously Tokyo's the biggest city in the world, and a lot of culture, but I kind of enjoy the urban areas a little bit more when you get the real kind of ancient history and see some temples and stuff. That's kind of what I really enjoy. But obviously the food, just yeah. I mean, everything is very good. There's some stuff that maybe I'm a little reluctant to try, but for the most part, it's just an awesome culture.
Great. Well, we'll go ahead and open to questions. Just raise your hand, and we'll get a microphone to you. You can go to Jeff in the back here by the camera.
Viktor, obviously you travel around the world for a living, but do you do anything differently when you come this far away from the States, knowing that there's other events going on, and is your recovery different? What's different about this week for your prep? And
yeah, normally I've kind of made somewhat of a rule to, if I'm traveling overseas and taking on that big of a time difference, kind of made it a point to if I do that, I'm playing 2 weeks in a row over here. Obviously, I'm not going to do that this week because it's only one event, and then going back over to South Carolina next week. So that's a bit too much for the body, I think. But I just love this event. I think the golf course is great, and I was just kind of jumping at it to go play. And I almost considered playing Shriners as well last week just because I felt like wanting to play. But again, it's just too much back and forth. But I made a conscious decision of leaving Friday morning from Oklahoma, and I got here Saturday just in the afternoon. So I've had some time to get ready, and I'd say after tomorrow, I'm probably in a pretty good spot to compete this weekend.
Chua?
Hey, Victor. Speaking about food, what's your go-to food in Japan when you visit?
I really like just ramen. Anything with noodles or chow mein or just anything, hot, spicy, a little different.
Very nice. And you said you've been here since last weekend. Just your thoughts about the golf course. How is it looking? And what do you think it takes for someone like you to make sure that you have a chance coming in on Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, I think this golf course suits me well. It's not, if you look at on paper, it's not the longest golf course, but it's weird how it plays because you basically have half of the par fours are really short, a driver and a short wedge, and then you have some other holes like number 9, number 11, 12, some of those holes where you have to hit a really good drive and then you still have a 5 or a 6 iron in. And I think just for the most part, you have to drive it really well. The rough is thick, smaller greens, and especially when they tuck certain of those pins, there's just no way you're going to hit it close if you're coming in from the rough. So you have to drive it well, you have to iron it well, and I think that suits me well.
Right here, Andrew?
Hi, Victor. LIV Golf have been attempting to get world ranking points by teaming up with this small tour in Africa and the Middle East. Bryson DeChambeau said that it's just delaying the inevitable and that eventually they will get points. What do you think about it? What's your take on it?
So I don't know all the different regulations and how difficult it is to get world ranking points. So I just think at the end of the day, if you want to get world ranking points, you obviously have to follow the process. And I think they're obviously making an effort to get those points, but I don't think it's right to give them an exemption to just get points overnight. They obviously have to follow the process, whatever the process might be. But at the same time, they have some really good players over there, and if some of those players drops outside the top 100 in the world, that's not good for the world rankings either. So I don't really know what the right answer is, but you can't just make up new rules as you go.
We'll go back to Calvin.
Yeah, Victor, it's obviously a very strong field this week at the ZOZO Championship. But yourself, what do you make of the local challenge here, especially since you'll be supported by a very passionate crowd this week?
Say that again. What do you think of?
Your assessment of the local players here, the local Japanese players who will obviously be cheered on by the very passionate crowd.
Yeah, obviously they'll have some hometown support, and I find that always helps. It makes you want to play a little bit better. You're a little bit more motivated. I don't know too much about the players that are playing here locally, but I'm sure they've played this track multiple times and they know where to hit it, what the greens are going to do. So obviously, as you said, the field is a good one. So I'll be trying to just focus on what I can control. If I play well, I think I'm going to have a chance on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come right back here.
ビクター、日本にまた来てくれてありがとうございます。このコースはフェード打ったりドロー打ったりしなきゃいけないホールがあると思うんですけど、そういう弾道打ち上げたりするのは好きな方ですか?
Well, thank you for coming back to Japan once again. And then this course requires you to do making draw or fades. And do you like having this strategic way to go around it?
Yeah, that's kind of why I like tree-lined golf courses is that if there's a dog leg left or right, there's usually a shot shape that fits the hole better. Now, in my career, I've always played a little cut shot, left to right, but I would say now that as I've matured as a player, I'm able to hit more draws, so right to left, left to right. So I don't see that as a hindrance to my game. I feel like I'm a lot more prepared to play this golf course, but I think it's pretty balanced. It's not like you have to hit cuts off of every tee shot, or you don't have to hit draws off of every tee shot. You kind of have to do a little bit of everything.
はい、ありがとうございます。ツリーラインのコース好きなんですけれども、ドッグレッグも多いということで、これまでのキャリアでいうと序盤というところはカットショットをすることが多かったんですけれども、私自身もプレイヤーとして成熟してきたということで、右から左右行くということもできるようになってきているので、そういうところは知力を出していけるんではないかなというふうに思ってますし、全体を見ると非常にバランスを取れているコースだというふうに思っていて、あらゆることをきちんと全てをしっかりやるというところが勝ちにつながっていくっていうところでは非常に魅力的なゴルフコースだというふうに思ってます。
ありがとうございます。
If there's no further, one more question from Chua.
Hey, Victor, just going back on the question about local challenge, just in your own experience, when you play in a tournament at home in Norway, do you feel like, does it give you a lift because you're playing at home, or is there like hindrances or challenges that a home player might face when competing in a local tournament?
Yeah, so I can't speak too much about playing tournaments in Norway because we don't really have that many tournaments back home. It's been a while since I've played a tournament in Norway. But I can at least relate it to playing in college because we had the NCAAs at Carson Creek where we practiced that every day in 2018. And I remember it's kind of a double-edged sword a little bit where obviously you're playing at home, so you have home field advantage, everyone's supporting you. But I remember that year we were really good as a team. We were ranked number 1, and it was not expected, but our goal was definitely to win, and the people showed up. They knew we were good that year, and they were hoping that we were going to win, but you just never know in golf. So it can kind of work the other way a little bit where the expectations are so high that it almost works against you. But I think that's where you just kind of have to handle it mentally. You just got to take care of the things that you can control. And at the end of the day, you have an advantage by playing at home or a course that you played multiple times. So I think you just got to focus on that.
Thank you, Victor, for joining us today. Good luck this week.
Thank you.